The Otago Rugby Football Union was in dire straits at the start of March. They were granted a 7-day stay of execution, while the ORFU's board and the New Zealand Rugby Football Union delayed the decision to put the 130-year-old organisation into liquidation. After a week, the fate of the union was still up in the air. With the creditors' sword still suspended over the union, another week went by. Wayne Graham told a fervent media scrum there was positive signs, with continuing talks, but stakeholders were still waiting to hear an outcome.
Number one is to not go into liquidation. So that's the first priority, that's the first jump we've been working on. In behind the scenes, we've been looking at the creditors and saying, okay, well, what's this mean and how can we rectify this situation? So that's number two. Number three is probably the ITM Cup team. But unless we get over the first jump, there's no use even considering the next two.
After heated council meetings where council members were visibly agitated, a deal to save the union was struck. The final vote was recorded at 8 in favour and 5 against, waiving the union's $480,000 debt to Dunedin Venues Management Limited. The decision stirred mixed opinions on the city's streets.
Well, what else are you going to do? You're going to let it go belly up and do in all that heritage for Otago? No, you can't do that. But I really don't like them getting away with all the shenanigans that they've been getting away with. I mean, there's a lot of dough that's gone missing.
I think it's good. Yep. It's great.
The town is quite divided over it again, you know. I would hate to see us without a rugby team, really would. And I just hope that if the City Council does fund and help fund the rugby union, we do need a provincial team. I'm not a huge rugby fan, but then they do need to get some sort of compensation in return from the rugby union.
Former ACC Minister Nick Smith admitted an error in judgment after helping a friend who was having difficulties with the ACC Corporation. Smith resigned later that day from his portfolios, but remained a minister. Construction of the fourth stage of redevelopment at the Otago Settlers Museum was just getting to the exciting stage. New give-way rules came into play, affecting drivers, riders, pedestrians and cyclists. Dunedin drivers aced the changes and no accidents were reported. Dunedin's Police Area Tactical Command were preparing themselves for the annual Hyde Street Keg Party. Glass bans were put in place to curb people's ability to drink on the streets. The street party went off with a bang, just as research came out that found students who have consumed alcohol are less able to study well the next morning. And finally, ID Fashion Week was launched with great fanfare. However, the glamorous event marked the beginning of the end for Dunedin's famous modelling twins.
We were at that really awkward, pimply, acne stage, so we're like, let's be modelling. So I don't know why the hell we did it. I just followed her. To be honest, I hated it. I'm the one who tells us what to do because I'm Nellie Jenkins. She's the boss.
That was March 2012. Join us again tomorrow for a look back at the goings-on for April. D. Karen, 9 Local News.